Oh hey guys, it's Friday, so you know what that means? It's video day. It's a little late, but today we're covering how to ballast your model railroading track. Let's go. So on today's video, I'm going to show you how to ballast your model railroading track. It's a very simple process. A lot of people will get a little freaked out by it, but it adds a ton of realism, and if you do it right, it looks great. So let me show you how to do it. Also, I'd like to apologize that this week's video is late. Last week, that Tuesday night after I uploaded the video, I went and shot soccer for my work. And then it turned into me going to the ER next day and spending 7 hours there. Had an inflamed intestine, whatever that means, but caused some serious pain. So for the following Wednesday, Thursday, I didn't go to work. I stayed at my parents' house and recovered. Was on some nausea medicine, which was some pretty serious stuff. And yeah, that's basically kind of why this week's video is late. I had to play catch up with work where I was out 2 days. I also covered a Panthers game Monday night. Here's a photo of me and D'Angelo Williams and Cam Newton. Thanks, Jeremy Igo of Jeremy Igo Photography for that photo. But anyway, let's get on to this week's video. It's late, I know, I apologize. So thanks for sticking with me, guys, and understanding. Let's do it. I do this a lot in my videos. Alright, let's start with the supplies that you'll need to complete this project. You need white glue. I buy it in the gallon size container from Lowe's. It's 10 bucks for a gallon, so pick that up and you'll use it forever. I use Woodland Scenic Cement. You can do a 50% water to 50% white glue ratio, but this works best for me, so this is what I use. You need 70% isopropylene rubbing alcohol, and I'll explain that later. You need some containers to hold your glue and your isopropylene alcohol, and then you need some eye drops or some something to squeeze out the liquids. Then you need ballast. I use Woodland Scenic Fine Gray ballast. You can use Arizona Rock Company or whatever suits your fancy to fit your railroad, but this is what I use. Also, you need a business card or an index card, something of that consistency, and a fine brush that you don't care to get glue in and kind of mess up. Okay, let's go. Alright, so you're going to take your brush and you're going to take the white glue and just brush it down the sides of your track. Kind of go below the switch lever, so that way you don't get glue inside the switch point. And then this is just kind of give your second layer of ballast something to grab onto. We're going to do 2 layers of ballast, and as you can see here, we're putting down the first layer. It just kind of gives the second layer, like I said, something to grab onto. So you want to put your first layer down over the layer of glue you just put down. And don't worry about it being too neat. Just don't get it in your switch point hole. That's basically the only thing you got to worry about with this layer. Don't worry about it being mean. Then you want to vacuum it up, and as you can tell, it got darker because my light broke. Whoops. But vacuum up that first layer, and don't worry about letting it dry. Go ahead and put down the second layer. You're basically just going to want to go up the sides a little bit below the tie line, just enough to break up that line that the catering unit track has, or that your ballast, or that your row bed has. But then you're going to take your finger and just kind of brush it off the tie, flatten out any kind of bumps or ridges that created, but take your finger and brush it off the ties, and then just keep going at it. It's best to do a little bit at a time, because if you start going too quick, it will start getting tiring and you'll start brushing and it'll look crappy. So just take your time and don't worry about it looking too good, because if you do get a little bit on the ties, you can brush it off once it dries with your finger, and just keep going back over and brushing it off with your finger. I know some people use brushes and stuff like that, but that just throws it everywhere for me, so I just find my finger works best. But it's personal preference, so you can use a brush or your finger to do that, but for me personally, I just use my finger, and this is how I do my track. Now you're just going to take your rubbing alcohol and soak the ballast. I mean, soak it. Basically, not where it's swimming, but where it's really saturated. This just helps the glue flow through the rock better. If you don't do this, it'll look bad. So be sure to do this step. It's important, so do it. Now you want to go over that area with the white scenic cement mixture. This nails it down really good, so let it dry overnight, and then you should get this. Alrighty, now the stuff is dry, and basically all you want to do is grab your switch and jiggle it back a few times. Make sure it's all clear, which it should be. And then take your finger and just rub it down the sides of the rails and get any ballast off the ties that may be there. If you have to, take the end of a paintbrush and kind of chip it off too if you have to. But you should be good, and this should be what you get, and it looks good, as you can see. So let's run a train over it and see what we get. Be sure to clean your rail heads as well, as I did. And there you guys have it, how to ballast your N-scale or HO Kato unitrack. To ballast other track, it's a very different technique, and at some point I'll actually try to show that to you. I don't have it, so I can't show you that technique, but I can show you how to make your Kato unitrack look more realistic by ballasting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's video. As always, hit the like button if you like what I'm doing. Let me know that you guys like what I'm doing. Comment below if any comments or suggestions or questions you might have. I do answer questions. Follow me on Facebook. It is www.facebook.com/NSTrainFan, and I post every day on there with what I'm doing on the layout, behind the scenes photos and such. Follow me on Twitter, Vine, and Instagram at @BennerPhoto. And as always, guys, later.